Can't see you guys, so let's see. Hello, gentlemen.
How are you?
Good afternoon.
All righty. Hello, Chief.
How you doing, everybody?
All right. So up on the screen, I have the detail, the summary of the lines. So if we want to start with your regular 3410-100 line, this is where a portion gets paid out to the chief, the first assistant chief, second assistant chief, and then the dispatchers are located in here. Part-time line is for the cleaning of the firehouse with an additional amount requested to do the floors.
Yes.
Your equipment line has all of radios and pagers for the $12,000. So that's a little over the 10,000, but this 10,000 represents, we did some budget transfers during the year. So this is the adjusted budget for 2020.
Why is it only at 4 so far? We're in November for this year.
Scott?
Go ahead. I didn't. What did you say?
Rika asked why we're only at $4,000 this year so far for your radios and pagers.
Because the pagers since COVID's been on back order for almost 5 months, and
Got it.
we're
Okay.
really scrapping to get them now, but it's in the works. We'll get them.
Okay.
Great. So we have a small amount in for computers in your 211 line. Your coats, boots, and helmets are holding true at the 46,000. Do you have some on order for their Scott for this
I
year?
actually, before I sat down, I was doing vouch. Yes, we have a lot of gear on order because again, COVID, the manufacturers for our gear stopped producing fire gear and started making stuff for the COVID. They're back up and running now. Gear is about 5 or 6 months behind. We pretty much use that line. That's the line I talked to you about, Dale, that, you know, we're struggling with because of the price of the gear and the new membership, unfortunately. Well, it's actually a bonus, but the new membership we're bringing in, we can't keep up with gear.
How
But
many
that
new
line,
members do you have?
so active members right now, we're probably close to 90. The problem is we're bringing in, just during COVID, we brought in over 10 members. For them to go to fire school, they have to be in certified gear within the 10-year margin.
Got it.
So we're taking gear from other members to put these kids through fire school. And as also we're gearing them up, our other members' gear is expiring. So it's a big thing we're trying to deal with. It's working, but we're struggling real bad with it.
No, I think it sounds great. They have 10 new members. Just give me a sense of, like, on the average per year, how many new members you bring on, active members, excuse me.
Well, I mean, we're going to say this year was kind of normal. The COVID really didn't slow the membership down. We're probably bringing in 20 to 25. And out of that 25, say we'll keep probably 20 of them will stay and be very active. The other 5, not so much.
Plus we lose membership over the year too.
Yeah, plus we lose membership, you know, obviously with aged out members or they pass away.
Sure, of course. No, normal
The
stuff.
coming
I
in
just
is
wanted to
more
get a
than going
sense.
out right now,
Okay.
which is a good thing.
Yeah, right now it's a great thing. It's
Yeah.
The next line is your equipment, your hoses. I know you guys do hose testing later in the year. So that amount I'm sure will be expended.
That was already We budgeted that last time, right? Yeah, they already went. We already sent that through in vouchers, Dale, so you should be
Okay.
receiving it.
Okay, great. Next in line is your equipment line, for which you do have assorted items. This is where your turnout coats and boots.
No, structural gloves, our
Sorry,
Nomex hoods, and stuff like that.
yep, your safety vests. You have some cylinders budgeted in here for this year, 15 of them, is that correct?
Yes,
And assorted other small equipment. But the cylinders are budgeted for 17,985 of that 53,541 amount.
yes, they're about $1,000 a piece per bottle. And
Great.
we're actually for this year, we're still 12 bottles needed to cover this year, which we're not going to be able to cover.
Gotcha. Your confined space training,
We have confined space training coming up next month, so that budget will get used.
Isn't that being done virtually though, Chief?
No, we have a company out of Connecticut that we use for our fast team. The problem is if we're not using Mike, which the village normally uses, and who we use normally. We're using the guy that does our fast, because what happens is if our guys don't recertify, we don't have a confined space team. We got to certify every year. And it can't be done virtually. It has to be done hands-on. But we don't have a big group. We're under the threshold of members for that. It's not for the whole department. It's only for specific people. And we're good.
Okay.
your telephone and internet line is holding steady for 2021. Electricity, we went through and did an analysis on that, so that's a little adjustment there, along with the heat line.
Okay.
Your office and supplies expense is budgeted the same and seems to hold true every year, so that should be sufficient. Your professional dues and meetings is the same as last year. Vehicle operating expenses, $3,500, same as 2020. We did adjust your unleaded fuel up a bit when I did the analysis, because it seems like it wasn't getting covered with 2021's number. Your diesel fuel was holding true though. Materials and supplies, we are budgeting at the same 12,000 that we did for 2020, along with your abrasives and chemicals. You have a purchase on order for that for this year?
Yes, we have to, that's from another company that we use, Crown, and we have to have so much for the order. So we normally order it this time of year, because if we order it separate, we pay fees. So it's all our waxes, all our heavy chemicals for the firehouses.
Great. Maintenance of the fire alarm. That's budgeted $1,500, same as 2020. Your standby expenses have.
What are those? I mean, it's not the amount that I care about. I'm just, what does that mean?
Standby expenses?
What is that line item?
The reason we
Standby
didn't spend
expenses.
really no money in that is because of the COVID, and we had no winter. That's for the guys
Yeah.
to stand by in the firehouses in the winter time, and they're entitled to buy food at a set cost, and that's to keep them here in the firehouses overnight.
Oh, literally, they're standing somewhere. Oh,
They're in the
Okay.
firehouses, sleeping on
Got it.
cots, air mattresses, and recliners.
I thought it was some sort of acute financial term that I wasn't
No,
familiar
no,
with.
but
It's actually
We didn't use
literally
it
they're
really
standing
because
there.
we didn't have
Okay.
no winter.
So your radio repair line is budgeted the same, $21,000. Your physician fees budgeted the same as we did a budget reduction to move some money around during the year. That's why this shows as 4,500. The rental amount is rent paid for independent and steamer leases. Maintenance and repair to buildings and grounds. We shifted 4,500 to another line from the original budget. I think that was repairs to vehicles. So that 4,500 was moved from maintenance and repair to buildings to repairs of vehicles.
Yes.
Uniforms is holding steady at the $1,000. Training, school, and education, 9,500. Contractual clerical, this is for,
That's for Amy, correct?
Yeah, so she puts the reports.
That's the one who, Amy puts all our reports into the state for us.
yeah. Repairs to vehicles and equipment. Repair and maintenance of equipment, holding steady at the same amount for 2021 from 2020. Fire prevention and training was actually reduced by 2,000 from the original budgeted amount of 10. We did do a budget adjustment during the year, which is showing here. And then you have OSHA compliance, your 518 line. And then that, the intermunicipal contract amount is the same as the prior year at the 140,000. On the
Unless I'm missing something, it looks like everything's about, all in about the same year to year. Am I getting that picture right?
Yes. Yep, holding steady. And then on the revenue side, we recalc the IMA. It is in accordance with prior year expenditures, including bonding pieces that are appearing for 2021. So the fire IMA is at 557,166 for 2021.
Dale, could you scroll back up when we were talking about the IMA? So the 5, whatever it was, that's what the village collects from the town for the IMA because OFD provides fire service for most of the unincorporated town, right?
Correct, yep.
And scroll back up for me. There's the 140. Is that what we pay, the village pays the fire department out of the IMA revenue?
That's correct. And that's where it can be up to 35%.
Yeah, and I remember we upped it last year or the year before.
Year before. And that was for the fire department to have an independent audit.
And they did?
I believe they
Yes,
did.
yes, we did.
Okay. Did you learn anything interesting?
No, everything was in order.
Well, that's not interesting. Okay, good.
It is for us.
So, no, I think it was when we went from 122 to 140. So I guess it was 2018 because it had been stagnant at 122 for a very long time, right?
That was for, excuse me, that was for we moved it over because instead of the village paying for the inspection, they put the money into our budget and we budgeted it with our money.
Yes, we did that at the same time, but as I recall, the inspection dinner was an $11,000 expense. And what we said is, well, you pay for it out of the IMA money and we'll roll it up and bring you to 140 and everybody's happy. So then last year we asked the OFD to do an audit. And so we gave them additional money from the IMA to do that. I didn't remember that.
Yes.
Yes, you gave us an additional 10, which brought us up to 150. And then for our requested budget coming up, it's back down to 140.
I didn't remember that the independent audit was paid for out of the IMA. Was it an audit of the IMA relationship, or was it just an audit of the whole department, right?
Audit of the whole department finances.
That was a strange decision. I didn't remember that we did that. Okay, thanks for explaining it. Thanks, Dale. Going back up.
Sure, great. Are we set on this side of the coin? Or do we have more questions here before we go to capital?
Oh, are we doing OFD capital right now? Okay, because we haven't done capital with most of the departments. Okay.
Right. So we seem, we have these guys until 5, so if that works for
That makes
everybody.
sense.
Oh, you're both there.
Huh? That truck doesn't look 20 years old.
Whenever you're ready, I'm ready.
We need shared.
Okay.
Oh, God. You're killing me.
Sorry, full department response, 390 Broadway to Stop and Shop, Clinton Avenue, Cedar Street, commercial alarm. Sorry, full department response, 390 Broadway to Stop and Shop, Supermarket, and commercial alarm, 1628 650.
Is everybody able to speak?
Yeah, I mean, I am. I don't know about everybody else.
All right, Scott, are you ready?
Yes, Dale.
So the first item under for the fire department is a chief's vehicle.
Yeah, for the chief's vehicle, every 2 years, we need to replace one. It's a frontline car. We currently operate 4 frontline chief vehicles. They are assigned to all 3 chiefs, and they're also assigned to the deputy chiefs. Our deputy chief's vehicle has reached the end of its life. As a frontline vehicle, it's got over 115,000 miles on it. We're looking to purchase a new chief's vehicle. The cost is $57,500, so that we can rotate the vehicles, and all 4 car vehicles will be frontline ready. The fire department, we get 10 years out of each car that we have, and then we turn the vehicles over to the village, which then the building department or the DPW use them, and they get another 6 to 8 years out of them. So they get good use out of our vehicles. We get good use out of them, and then they get good use out of them. And that's why
I just want to clarify, you are the village.
no, but we turn them over to the DPW, other departments.
I'm just being particular.
All right.
So the next line, Scott?
Next one we have, I mean, I'm going off, you want me to go off, I'll go off my sheet, or you want to go? Yeah,
They-
'cause we skipped. My next one would have been, obviously, the North Side Firehouse. Now, we're looking to replace the firehouse on Snowden Avenue, which currently houses 2 companies, 96, Tower Ladder 42. The building was built in 23. It's now showing its age. 2010 Tower Ladder 42 has been unable to be housed in the firehouse. The building will not support the weight or the length. We're requesting, like we have in the last couple budgets, that they retain $750 for architect and engineer services if needed during the year. I think we've had a budget the last 2 years and we haven't touched it. Just sits there. We just want it to be available if something does come up.
I'm not seeing that in the capital projects.
This is
First-
under,
First one on the top. You're on a different sheet than us. No, I see it. You're on it.
I'm on it on the screen, right?
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
looking in the book. Okay, it's not in the book. Is it, Dale, or is it someplace else?
It should be, it's under the public improvement section.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Chief Gallery, you had also put in a request to replace the air conditioning at Cataract Hose Firehouse, but there has not been any dollar estimate given for that as of yet.
It's been, I think I explained to you, Gail, we've tried to get people there. We even reached out to Andy to get his guy. You know, they're coming, then they're not coming. It's just been going back and forth. And then with everything that went on this year, it made it really difficult. The unit is totally shot. It doesn't work. They're running on one unit, which is also on one leg. So the units need to be replaced. I apologize for not having a number, but we really don't have one. And we even tried to get the village guy that they recommended, but we never got together and it never worked out.
Don't I remember hearing about this last year too?
Yeah.
Okie dokie. Maybe we can ask Andy when we meet with them later, early next week.
All right.
Do you want to go back to vehicles where you have a fire engine?
I have, which one? Let me just see what I have next. I'm sorry. Engine 100 is up for replacement. It's an American LaFrance. The manufacturer does not make trucks anymore. It's showing its age in maintenance. It's costing us a lot of money to operate. It runs on 2 boxes. It runs on 112, which is the south end of the village, and it runs on box 66, which is a full department response. Again, we're getting a lot of mechanical issues with it. It's showing its wear and tear, and every time it does need a part, they're hard to get because that manufacturer is not in business anymore. And it's time, you know, it's time to replace it and cut down the expense that we're putting into it. We're putting a lot of money into it every year. It's the oldest truck we have in the fleet.
What year is that fire engine, Scott?
2001.
Okay, then there was also a utility truck.
Utility truck is our fast steam truck. It's also used for confined space. That carries a lot of equipment on it. It's the truck that we use to respond to other department locations dealing with structure fires or confined space alarms. The vehicle we have now, it's a 2002 Chevy. It has a regular cab on it. It has no 4-wheel drive on it. It has a utility body on the back of it. The new truck that we're looking at is more of a crew cab truck that'll hold 4 firefighters, and it'll also have a utility body on the back with 4-wheel drive. I mean, we've had it for 18 years. When they bought it, it was small then when we bought it, and now it's really, you know, it's especially with the confined space team that we put together now with the county, and we've always had the fast team, and it's just, it's outgrown itself, you know, it's loaded with a lot of valuable equipment that is used, and it travels throughout the county wherever we're called to go.
Next in line
And
is,
just to add to that, Dale,
yeah,
that would be a truck that if they replaced it, the village or the rec somebody would get so much use out of it. Yeah, don't just keep it in the village and you would get so much use out of it. It's a good truck. It's just not feasible for us anymore.
great. Next in line is the fireboat and trailer.
Yeah, we did our homework on it. We put it in every year. We put it in again this year because we did a little homework. We did more work into it. We actually have a committee that put a lot of time into it. And if you notice what was requested last year in the budget compared to what we requested this year, we got something that'll work for us, something that we definitely could use and need to get the fire department back on the water. And we dropped it, you know, I think it was 100 and something thousand, almost 200,000. We dropped the price. Because we did a lot of work into it. Like I said, we had a committee and they did a lot of traveling. They did a lot of stuff and they looked into it. And for that number that we're asking for, it's a perfect boat for us.
And then I believe this is the last item, the rescue bailout bags.
These are our bailout bags. They're used by all interior firefighters. They're required by New York state law for us to have them if we're going 2 stories or above. So basically, I'll use an example. If we go to 16 Croton Avenue, we're not supposed to go above the 2nd floor. All the bags that we have are either already expired or they're about to expire on their 10-year limit. It's kind of something that it's one of them things that we need to have. We put it in the capital because it's a big expense. But without these bags, we limit ourselves to what we can do. And it puts a huge liability on the village if these guys don't have them and they're 2 stories or above.
Why are they all expired? How quickly do they expire?
10-year warranty.
Why are we just ordering them now if they're all expired?
We have some that are expired, and what we've been doing to get through, because within the 10 years, we can send them to AAA when they have to get repaired. AAA won't repair them because they're coming up, you know, they're expiring. So they can't be repaired. So what we're doing is we're taking bags from other members that aren't as active to give them to our very active members. So, and the members that we're taking them from are interior firefighters. That's why they have them. You have to train for it. You're not just given one. You have to take class, you have to certify, and you have to prepare for it. You have to jump out a window, 4 times, and then you have to do it with your personal. It's something that we need to have.
Chief, I'm not objecting to paying for it at all. My concern is I don't want you to be in a position where people can't safely respond to a fire because we didn't order equipment soon enough.
No, we're coming, like I said, we've scrapped bags. So anyone that's expired is not in service. We won't do that. We're taking them from members, so say that they're very active members, but they're not as active as the guys that we're giving them to. Our day firefighters, our fast team members, our confined space members. So right now we're taking from Peter to give to Paul is what we're doing. But yes, come the first of the year, come February, we're going to have basically very few bags in service.
So so you said there's 90 active members. So they're not all interior, are they? Are there 90 APs?
No, that's 90 interior active members.
Okay, so $43,600 is going to buy rescue bailout bags for how many new ones is that?
90 members.
So that's to buy 90 bags. So 10 years from now, all 90 are going to be expired at the same time again.
Correct.
That's a terrible plan. Why are we not rotating them through? Like if they're 10-year expiration, why don't?
Yeah, they're like anything else. They're like the Scott packs. That's why we've been putting the Scott packs off, because they're not ready for the change. And if we buy them now and then the standard changes, we're going to have to buy them again. That's why, if you notice, we put off the packs for, I think, the last 2 years, maybe 3 years, because they're not in compliance. They're not ready to come out. You can get them, but in another 2 years, they might not be in compliance anymore. So that's why we haven't gotten them. And these bags that we have, once they get near expiration, just like the gear, you can't do anything to it. I understand what you're saying about how we have it set up, but there's no other way. That's the way it was first set up. And that's the way it's for. I mean, if we try to split it, then we're not going to have enough bags this year. If we do it and then we try to split it the next time, then we're going to have bags that aren't going to get used. They're just going to get shelf life. And we don't want that. We're only asking for what we need. I mean, if we get a Russian membership and we pick up another 25 members, then we're going to be taking bags from guys that aren't as active and giving them to the guys that are active.
All right, I mean, it's just, you don't have to say like that you wouldn't go save somebody on the third floor because you couldn't do it legally, because we're not gonna not give you the equipment that you need. It just.
We would never do that. And I didn't word it that way. I just worded it's a liability. If somebody got hurt for some reason and OSHA or PESH come in, first thing they're gonna look at is their gear and the equipment on their gear. I'm not saying that we wouldn't do it. No, our guys have too much heart for that.
No, I don't want them to do it. I want to give them the equipment that they need.
Yeah, well, that's why we're asking for them.
Yeah,
That's what we're asking for, to replace them so everybody's safe. But we would never not do what we have to do.
I don't put the firefighters in a position where they have to choose between being in compliance or saving somebody's life. Like, that's.
No, we don't. They're out of service. The bags that are expired are expired. They're done. But we had enough, like I said, we've been taking them and moving them around. And then we also have a handful of interior firefighters that, would never go that high anyway. So the 90 is a great number and it'll cover our membership.
And whether they get, somebody gets a brand new one in January, whenever these arrive, and they don't do a lot of interior, it's not something that, it's not a number of uses, it's an age. So it's going to expire at the 10-year mark, whether it's somebody who used it a lot.
Well, no,
they might wear it out faster, but you can't go longer than 10 years.
If the bag is used, the bailout bag is used for fire reasons, the bag has to go to our supplier and it has to be certified, it has to be checked because it was used. If our member uses it for training, which they have to do every year, they have to recertify every year in bailout. When they jump with their bag, there's a tag in the bottom of their bag connected inside, and they have to date it, and they have to inspect their own webbing. They're supposed to take it out monthly, inspect it, go through it, and they're supposed to date their card. So when they come back to training, say they went in January and they come back this January, the first thing the trainer's going to do is make them pull his bag apart and see how many times that he took that bag apart and inspected it.
Okay.
So it's not something we take lightly at all. It's a very serious thing, and we're very serious with it. We had a prop built at fire headquarters just for this, so we didn't have to spend money like most departments have to go down to White Plains and do bailout. We don't pay for that. We have our own prop built in the firehouse in the back of the truck room, and we do in-house trainers that we send to get certified to do this. So we're pretty much together with that part of it.
Okay.
Is there a lag time when you order these, Scott?
I'd have to call Steve down at AAA and just confirm and find out that there's no backlog on them that way. If there's no backlog on them, then we should be able to get them in a reasonable time. But like anything else with the COVID, I'd have to ask, because it might be where they're behind a little bit with it. So I'd have to make a phone call, but they already gave us a phone call for the estimate, but we didn't ask the availability of them until we knew what was going on with the budget. Not that we didn't think you guys wouldn't get them, but until the budget's approved, I'm not gonna tell them to order bags.
Yeah, that's the right thing to do. But if there's something that's time sensitive and it's essential for their safety, you can come to us in the middle of the year.
All right. Well, we made it to right now, but it's time sensitive come first of the year.
All right. Well, I hope there's no lag in being able to get them.
Yeah, I will reach out to him tomorrow because he's probably gone already. I'll reach out to him and check out the availability. If it's a little ways out, then I will give one of you a call and let you know what it is. This way we might have to order them. We might not see them for 8 weeks, 10 weeks, but at least we can get the order in.
Well, if then let me ask, do we have a quorum right now? I see Rika. I can't see everybody, so I don't know exactly. Let me look on the participants here. Me and Rika are here. Omar Lopez is here. He just says, I just can't see him.
I'm here.
Yeah.
Oh, there,
Omar,
I don't have a full view of everybody. There you are. So if this is this to me, if this is something that has a time sensitivity, I'm comfortable with us saying that the fire department should go ahead and order this to make sure that, and not wait until another month from now when we approve the budget, in case there's a lag time in them being able to get it. Are my colleagues on the board comfortable with that?
So moved. I'm very comfortable with it. It definitely makes sense. So that's my feelings about it.
Yeah, I don't think the money's likely to be appropriated before December, whatever, anyway. It's just, I don't want them to wait to order it if there's gonna be a gap between, and I don't know the exact expiration date of these things, but sounds like two of us are comfortable with that. Omar, Rika, are you comfortable with?
Yep. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I may have muted accidentally. Yes.
Okay. All right. So, I mean, go ahead and order it for the $43,600, assuming that it's in that range. I'm sure that's based on something. And by the time it gets here, we'll approve the budget anyway.
Okay, thank you.
Great. And that is it for the fire department.
Anything else, chiefs, that you want to say to us?
Happy Thanksgiving.
Manny said happy Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
No, everything is good right now. We have no complaints. Everything's been safe here.
Well, that's good.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Everybody have a good afternoon.
Always a pleasure to see you guys.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Rita.
Bye-bye.
Bye now. Take care.